In this video, we are going to create an expert advisor that utilizes the OsMA indicator for trading decisions. Let's see how we can do that by starting Metaeditor. You can do this by clicking a little icon or by pressing F4 on your keyboard. The first part of our code includes the CTrade class from the standard library. This class provides simplified trading methods such as PositionOpen and PositionModify, which we will use to manage our trades. By including this library, we gain access to essential trading functions that will streamline our code. Next, we instantiate a CTrade object named Trade. This object will manage all trade operations, including opening and modifying positions. Moving on, we define our strategy configuration parameters. These parameters are adjustable in the Expert Advisor properties. The LookbackBars parameter specifies the historical range for highs and lows, allowing us to analyze price movements over a specified number of candles, which can range from 1 to 1000. The MinCandlesBack parameter sets the minimum age for a valid high or low, ensuring that we only consider significant price points. The TrailingOffset parameter provides a safety margin for our trailing stop, measured in points, with a range from 1 to 20. The FastEMA and SlowEMA parameters define the periods for the fast and slow exponential moving averages used in the OsMA calculation. The SignalPeriod parameter sets the period for the signal line in the OsMA indicator. Finally, the OsMAThreshold parameter establishes a threshold for OsMA signals, with a value of 0 indicating a neutral position. We then declare some global variables and handles to store the state between ticks and indicator data. The OsMA handle variable will hold the handle for the OsMA indicator, while the OsMA buffer array will serve as a ring buffer for OsMA values. The price data array will store the open, high, low, and close price data for our analysis. The onInit function is executed once at the start of the Expert Advisor for indicator setup. Inside this function, we create the OsMA indicator handle using the OsMA function. This function takes parameters such as the current symbol, the H1 timeframe, the fast and slow EMA periods, the signal period, and the price type, which is set to price close. We also configure our arrays as time series, ensuring that the newest data is at index 0. This alignment allows us to work with the data in a natural time progression. Finally, we return the success code in it succeeded to indicate that the initialization was successful. Next, we define the functions for opening positions. The openByPosition function is responsible for executing a buy order. It retrieves the current ask price using the symbolinfo_double function, which provides the ask price for the specified symbol. We then use the PositionOpen method from the CTrade class to execute the buy order. The parameters for this method include the symbol, order type, volume, price, stop loss, take profit, and a comment. In this case, we specify the symbol, set the order type to order type buy, define the position size as 0.10 lots, use the ask price for the entry price, and leave the stop loss and take profit disabled. The comment for the position is set to OsMA position. The openSellPosition function operates similarly but for sell orders. It retrieves the current bid price and executes a sell order using the PositionOpen method. The parameters are the same as in the buy function, but we set the order type to order type sell and use the bid price for the entry price. The onTick function is executed on every tick and contains the core strategy logic. In this function, we first retrieve historical price data for analysis by copying H1 candle data for the specified lookback period. The copyRates function takes parameters such as the symbol, time frame, starting position, count of candles to copy, and the target array where the data will be stored. We also load OsMA values from the indicator buffer using the copyBuffer function, which takes the indicator handle, buffer number, starting position, count, and target array. Next, we check the status of open positions. We determine if there are any open positions and their type. We initialize a Boolean variable has open position to false and set the current position type to position type buy as a default value. We then loop through all open positions in reverse order to safely iterate and find relevant ones. For each position, we retrieve the unique ticket number and check if the position belongs to the current symbol. If it does, we mark has open position as true, store the type of the current position, and exit the loop after finding the first matching position. Now we move on to trend detection and position management. If the OsMA value crosses above the threshold, indicating a potential buy signal, we check if there are no open positions. If there are no positions, we call the open buy position function to open a new buy position. If there is already a buy position open, we identify the lowest low in the lookback period using the iLowest function. This function returns the index of the lowest low, which we use to retrieve the corresponding low price. We then check if the low index is at least MinCandlesBack old and if the current price is above the identified low. If these conditions are met, we calculate the trailing stop level by adding the trailing offset to the last low price and call the process trailing stop function to manage the trailing stop. Conversely, if the OsMA value crosses below the threshold, indicating a potential sell signal, we follow a similar process. If there are no open positions, we call the open sell position function to open a new sell position. If there is already a sell position open, we identify the highest high in the lookback period using the iHighest function. We check if the high index is at least MinCandlesBack old and if the current price is below the identified high. If these conditions are met, we calculate the trailing stop level by subtracting the trailing offset from the last high price and call the process trailing stop function. The process trailing stop function is responsible for updating the stop loss for both buy and sell positions. We iterate through all open positions in reverse order for safe modifications. For each position, we select it using the ticket number and check if it matches the specified position type and belongs to the current chart symbol. We retrieve the current stop loss value and update it based on the position type. For buy positions, we check if the new stop level is higher than the current stop or if there is no existing stop loss. If either condition is met, we modify the position using the trade position modify method. For sell positions, we check if the new stop level is lower than the current stop or if there is no existing stop loss, and we modify the position accordingly. Finally, we press F7 to compile the code. If this was too fast for you, or if you don't understand what all the code is doing, you may want to check out the premium course on our website or watch one of the basic videos first. If that works, we go back to Metaeditor by pressing F4 or clicking on the icon. Back in Metaeditor, we press Ctrl and Alt to start the strategy tester. We select the expert advisor that we have just created, enable the visual mode, and start a strategy test. We should see the expert advisor on the chart, executing trades based on the OsMA indicator signals. If you are already a premium course member and have an idea for a video like this one, feel free to send us an email with your suggestion. In summary, we have learned how to code an expert advisor that utilizes the OsMA indicator for trading decisions. We have implemented functions for opening buy and sell positions, managing trailing stops, and executing trades based on market conditions. With just a few lines of MQL code, we have created a functional trading strategy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.